an odd answer, but the answer is rain. I think Namibians will get it. Rain just sits differently with us, and I think mostly of what it resembles and what it reminds me of. The smell of rain in Namibia, the sound of it on the roof, it just brings about this whole different world. It's almost not life-changing, but it's almost bringing new life, transformation, and whatever you think about or think of, every aspect of rain brings life to some or other form in Namibia. Even the memories it goes with, if you think about rain and the family, thinking about sitting on the farm with the family when it rains outside, having a coffee, having a chat, sitting in a boardroom with our colleagues when the rain starts falling on the roof. It just energizes the room and brings something completely different. I think that's why I love rain. It's just what it resembles and what it means to me personally and what I associate it with. There's more than one point in my career that I thought was kind of career defining or somewhat life-changing from a professional perspective. And the first was when I left the audit profession and the consulting profession at Ernst & Young. When I joined Bank Windhoek Holdings at the time, I signed up to go to Zambia, to Kavmon Bank, one of the subsidiaries at the group at that time. And for us as auditors and people who are slightly risk averse, it was quite a big change and a big step. I had to think about it for a substantial amount of time, long hours, had to think deep. I'm sometimes often accused of not doing. But yeah, I think making that decision to move out of the professional services space into banking, that for me was a big step. Not only the industry, but also moving into Southern Africa, into Zambia. Another change I was not familiar with. And then also having been married fairly recently at the time, it was quite exciting and a challenge at the same time. So that for me was almost the first step in my career where I think, looking back a few years, back to 2013, that it was actually a life-changing moment. The things I got exposed to in the seat in Zambia, I think it's an experience that I would never have had anywhere else in the world, and also not in Namibia. So a big step, but I think one of the biggest impacts it had on my professional career. Secondly, I was very excited to come back to Namibia when I joined Bank Windhoek as CFO in 2016. But that for me was familiar territory, familiar company, familiar bank, closer to home. I think the next big one was moving into retail banking services, really the front line. It is often easy to sit on the other side of the table and think of what needs to be done and how it should be done and who should be doing it. But I challenged myself to say, I've been in finance for 7 years at the time with the group, and thought, let's move to the other side, or let's see if I can move to the other side and make an impact myself. And that for me also, it was a big step in terms of career. But I think above all, I'm very fortunate to have had that opportunity, because I think at the end of the day, if the opportunity is there, is what you make of it. But I first had to get the opportunity, and I'm very thankful for Bank Windhoek for that, and trusting the process and trusting me with the frontline business units. But as I say, it was only after the appointment, almost the realization came of the task at hand and the people you are responsible for and the people you need to serve. That for me was the second one, and I've always heard a few people saying that you're not a banker until you've been on the client side, and I must honestly tell you, they were so right. It comes with so many different challenges, but challenges I love, challenges I embrace every day, and I have more and more respect for the people who deal with that, and the people who really put Bank Windhoek out there in that capacity, of people across the country. I think I've learned so much from them in this role on this journey at Bank Windhoek. So for me, those were really the two life-changing moments to date in my career. I must admit, what I love about it and what excites me about it is also what scares me about it. I think at the end of the day, it's such a huge responsibility, or with leadership comes a huge responsibility. But what I love about it is the impact you can make. The impact you can make by being in leadership, being involved in the strategic direction of the organization and the business, the people you can serve, and the people whose message you can almost carry and assist with to make things happen and to make changes, and to almost make changes for the better, if I can call it that. But as I've said, what scares me is really the responsibility it comes with. One of our key tasks as leaders is to develop people, and developing people is extremely important, but again, it's great responsibility to make sure you guide your teams, make sure you guide your people, not only in their capacity as teams, but also in their capacity as individuals, all having different needs and different aspirations and ambition. That for me really excites me, is the impact one can make, the responsibility that comes with that, and the ability you have in a leadership position to really make a difference and carry everyone else's messages at heart.